About crime and justice, we spoke earlier about thousands of South African victims of crime not receiving justice because SAPs have closed thousands of unsolved cases. So while we see justice grinding to a halt in these cases, are we finally seeing some momentum building in the search for justice relating to state capture? There are a number of factors to consider. I think what's going to be playing out today is the co-accused in the Free State 255 million asbestos scandal. Morodi Cholota is now back in the country, was a former personal assistant of co-accused Ace Magashula. Remember, in 2019, Cholota spilled the beans about the asbestos contract before the Zondo Commission into state capture. Various other cases I want to talk about to Karam Singh, Executive Director of Corruption Watch. Good morning, Karam. Really appreciate your time. What does this mean for the case against Ace Magashula, other co-accused Edwin Sodi in this Free State asbestos case?
Good morning, Lester. Thanks so much for having me on the program. Good morning to all the listeners. Obviously, this is a significant development in this case. The extradited former PA was, I think, identified as she was going to be a state witness. Then I think she changed her mind on that, and then there was this, quite a cumbersome extradition to get her back in the country. So it seems like that case is progressing well. We know that extradition isn't a completely straightforward matter. We're still trying to get the Guptas back from Dubai, and we haven't been successful doing that. So I think with some of the other state capture cases floundering, at least in this asbestos case, this would seem like a positive development.
Let's look at some other cases where they have floundered, like the 280 million rand Estina dairy farm fraud and corruption case directly linked to the Guptas. We have the National Prosecuting Authority saying last week they are ready to reinstate that case against various individuals. Also, things that are happening within the NPA. Paul Pretorius is one of the evidence leaders in the Zondo Commission. Also, advocate Matthew Chaskelson being seconded to the National Prosecuting Authority to build those cases for the state. These seems like very positive moves when it comes to the prosecutorial side of state capture cases.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it would appear that the reason these matters are getting struck off the roll, is that the NPA doesn't have all their ducks in a row, that they're not ready for these cases to proceed. We've heard lots of statements from the leadership of the NPA around challenges around their capacity to be able to pursue these cases. So certainly the announcement of Advocate Pretorius and Chaskelson joining the NPA to assist with these cases is an absolutely positive development. We've got some outstanding legal minds in the country. We saw the evidence leaders at the Zondo Commission execute their tasks, their jobs with great expertise and finesse. That's the kind of prosecutors we want to see running these cases. So that's an absolutely positive development. The NPA will seek to have this Estina case re-enrolled. We've also seen the prosecution under the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act of the individual. Is it Julian Ayres?
Julian Ayres. And that could be considered the first prosecution and conviction relating to a state capture case, not here in South Africa, but in the United States. There's an individual called Julian Ayres. He was convicted after a plea bargain with the U.S. Department of Justice for bribing SAA procurement officials. That was also testified at the Zondo Commission. We have a conviction, but in the United States.
Yes, I mean, I think that's got to rub us in South Africa. There's got to be a bit of a mixed feeling about that. The first state capture case is actually prosecuted in a foreign jurisdiction. The U.S. has a long-standing act, the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, which they enforce very vigorously. They have extraterritorial jurisdiction. So the enforcement system against corruption is certainly more advanced, is more effective in the United States, and hopefully we can learn from that, and that can be the basis upon which we can we can gather some encouragement that that we will see state capture prosecutions forthcoming in South Africa as well.
At the end, the National Prosecuting Authority have always said we need money, we need resources to build cases, to get the forensic investigative work done. Not too long ago, we've just a couple of months ago, we had the Department of Justice, I think, cutting that department's budget by something like 13%. Are we walking the talk when it comes to trying to capacitate the National Prosecuting Authority and the Investigative Directorate to actually see getting cases ready, taking them to court, prosecuting them, and hopefully getting convictions and sentencing for state capture cases?
When we see the budget being cut, it obviously raises serious concerns. We had a huge investment in the Zondo Commission. I don't think that investment will be realized, that the value of that will be realized if we don't make a commensurate investment within the prosecution services to now take these cases forward. It's all well and good to have a first-class commission of inquiry, but now, many years after the end of official state capture, with a leadership in place, we want to see a prosecution services that's well-resourced, well-capacitated, and in a position to be able to pursue these complex cases. So, there's so much more that still needs to be done. And I think, we need to see the likes of Pretorius and Chaskelson and other leading lights joining the NPA, but we also need to see Parliament and the executive coming to the party by saying, we fully support the criminal justice system, and we fully support it by providing it with the appropriate resources to be able to execute its mandate, because at the moment we have doubts about that.
Karam Singh, Executive Director of Corruption Watch, really appreciate your time.